No one is going to catch the Chiefs in the AFC West. They have clinched that division. Shocker. It almost was a shocker, though, of an outcome when the Chiefs returned to Hard Rock Stadium. Patrick Mahomes tweeting, "I have a love-hate relationship with Hard Rock Stadium." Here is Mahomes after the game explaining his love and his hate of Hard Rock Stadium.
The love part, I mean, we've won the Super Bowl here, and we've just clinched the AFC West. And so it seems like every time we leave the stadium, we have a hat of some type of thing we've accomplished. But in the hate part, I feel like I have half my interceptions, it seems like, at this stadium.
Yeah, I talked to him after the game, and we really got into the similarities between, the whole idea of going back to Miami. They stayed in the same hotel. He stayed in the same room. It just brought back a lot of those feelings at a time when, maybe it's useful to rekindle that fire, that spirit that carried you to a Super Bowl championship, because you're getting ready to embark on that run again. And, he said it was strange to be back in the stadium and look around and take it all in. And yes, he had 3 interceptions, and it could have gone the other way. This is just another example of how good the Chiefs fundamentally are. They will take the best shot you have. They will suffer through all sorts of crazy adversities, including a 30-yard sack at one point that, as Mahomes told me after the game, he flipped the field on himself in that one play. But they just keep going. They just keep, they're down 10-0. It's no big deal. And we all have this sense of it's coming. And from 10-0 to 33-27, and it wasn't even as close as 33-27.
No, I mean, come on. In the year of 2020, there's no great defenses in the NFL. A lot of good ones, but I don't know if there's that great defense we've seen in other years. I don't know. How can you pick against this crew and this guy? How can you pick against him? I just don't see it. It's unbelievable. I've never seen anything like it. The way they make plays, the way he can flounder and not look good for a little bit, and just not be flustered at all. And, yeah, it was a rough start. I threw for 393 and still had some of the best throws in the NFL today. Whoa, okay. Hey, don't worry. We lit the afterburners on a bunch of our guys. They're just flying all around the field. No big deal. We'll score 28 like that. I've never seen anything like it, and it's scary because they're 12-1. They haven't played a complete football game the whole year. And if they even just come close, they're going to beat teams 48-12, 48-14. It could have been that yesterday, even down 10-0. I mean, they drive down the field. They're up 30-10. McCole Hardman fumbles inside the 10-yard line. They drive down the field. It's 30-10, and Xavier Howard goes up and makes the one-hand interception. Great interception, but Mahomes underthrew him by like 9 yards. Should have been a touchdown. So I'm amazed by them. Sorry, I'm waxing poetically about them, but it's just amazing what we're seeing.
Well, one of the things that I was most interested in finding out when talking to Mahomes after the game, and I hadn't talked to him after a game since that snow globe game, remember in Kansas City last year when they beat the Broncos, and we all started to say, you know what, maybe we should be paying more attention to this team instead of the 49ers and the Ravens and the other teams that were the great teams last year, because the Chiefs really weren't until we got to the end of the season. I asked him, what's your process? You so rarely have interceptions. What's your process for getting past an interception when it happens? And he said, I'm not going to change my mentality. I'm going to continue to fire. I'm going to continue to shoot the ball downfield and let my guy try to make plays. Whenever you start being timid after you throw an interception, that's how you lose games. And he doesn't go into a shell. He doesn't get careful. He doesn't look for high percentage completions. He just keeps doing what it is that he does, and he loses no faith in the fact that he made a mistake, and he accepts the fact that he may make another, but he knows on balance it's all going to work out, and he's not going to ever change the way he is, and that's the right way to approach it when you have that kind of a skill set.
It's amazing. It's just we've never really seen a guy who can handle it so well at such a young age and has never really been flustered. I mean, never. I've never seen panic on the guy's face or anything in my life other than his first game up in Foxborough on NBC, a Sunday Night Football game. I remember him in the huddle, and the little sky cam zoomed in on him. I remember him looking up, and I felt like that was the first time I've ever seen him where he was aware, like, oh, man, I'm in New England, and I'm playing Tom Brady. And, of course, if you remember, he got off to like a slow start in that football game. Other than that, I've never seen him blink ever, even down 20-10 last year against the 49ers. I thought, oh, it's not looking good, but he wasn't like stressed or blinking about it. His ability to just kind of wipe the slate clean and still, after those mistakes, like make mistakes and then come back and actually be more aggressive. That's where most quarterbacks would really falter. Oh, I've made a few mistakes, and now it compounds itself, and now you start to leave plays on the field because you don't want to make a mistake. Or, man, maybe I'm not seeing the field clearly. Let me check it down. Let me throw the easy completion. And then you get up on a few drives and you look and you go, man, we got 2 field goals, and I've missed like 2 or 3 big plays maybe for touchdowns because I'm still scared about the damn interceptions I threw earlier. He just never does that. He just fires. And that's where he's amazing in the clutch or at any moment. It just doesn't really matter. But it speaks to their football team. They don't really blink either, and that's because of him. And he's their fearless leader. But it's special that he has that little characteristic about him.
And, that attitude extends beyond any given game either. I asked him at one point how important the number 1 seed is for the Chiefs, and his attitude is, we don't care.
Yeah.
Like, tell us when we have to play, and we'll go play. Mm-hmm. If we get a week off, we get a week off. If we don't, we don't. And there's a certain pragmatism to it that there's only so much they can control. Right. If they end up losing out on a tiebreaker to the Steelers, so be it. Although, as of last night, with the Steelers losing, they don't have to worry about a tiebreaker. They have a 1-game lead now in the chase for the number 1 seed. So the Chiefs are looking good in that regard, and they likely will get that week off. I don't want to say likely. They quite possibly. I don't know what the specific probability is. Steve Kornacki had it last night, but I'd say it's looking good. And it's up to 95 to be the 1 seed.
Wow.
95 to be the 1 seed. So I think they're in pretty good shape. And look, when you reflect on what happened last year and how they had to pull the inside straight 3 games in a row, I don't think you want to throw another one onto that, where you fall behind and you have to keep finding a way to come back. I don't think you want to risk that one more time if you don't have to. So take the 1 seed Chiefs and run with it. Take the week off because they're eventually going to have a couple of pretty good football teams rolling into town, whether it's the Titans, whether it's the Bills, whether it's the Colts, whether it's the Browns, whether it's the Steelers, or maybe even the Dolphins. There's plenty of good teams out there, and they're going to have to beat 2 of them to get back to the Super Bowl.
Yeah, that's right. That's why you want the bye, though, just for the reasons you just said, just so you don't have to play 3 of them. Because it's rolling the dice. The AFC is damn good. I mean, as we have seen this year, the team that they've had the most problems with is not even in the playoffs. We've seen the Colts. The Colts beat them 2 years ago in Kansas City with a healthy Patrick Mahomes. So the AFC is deep and talented, and you don't want to roll that dice. To me, I mean, I think you, me, everybody in the football universe, that's right. He doesn't care. We don't expect them to care either. We know they can beat and play with anybody on any field, but you just want to take that little percentage chance away of, okay, let's not have to play that extra game against that one team who's pretty damn good. And, oh, no, if this was the day we made a few mistakes or didn't capitalize, now it comes back to bite us in the butt and the season's over. That to me is the beauty of it. But, man, how can you pick against them? And what's the closest thing, just in your, just off the top of your head, like what's the closest thing in your lifetime you've seen to the Chiefs and just the way they play and just how quickly it can all turn around?
Well, look, the closest I've seen by way of dominance to the Chiefs offensively is the 49ers of the late 80s, but they never had to really turn it around. They just came out and kicked your butt wire to wire, right? I can't think of a team that could always find the switch and flip it no matter whether they're down 10, 24, as we saw last year against the Texans.
Right.
It really is amazing. And you develop a skill at coming back. And what it does, and one thing Mahomes told me is we don't point fingers, we don't get down in the mouth. They don't need to because they know they can do it. They know they can come back. And it has a mental impact on your opponent.
Yeah.
They feel it on the other sideline. These things that become trends in the NFL, whether it's, and I remember Hines Ward used to say that, with Tony Romo, when he was in that period of his career and he eventually reversed it, where you can count on him to make a big mistake late in the game, you sense it. You sense, here it comes. And I think that anybody who's playing the Chiefs, I bet there were plenty of guys on the Miami sideline yesterday, Chris, when it was 10-0, who are over there thinking, oh, crap,
Yeah,
here it comes.
Here it goes. It's happening right in front of us. We've never seen this in person, but this is amazing, even though we shouldn't be enjoying it. Because Miami did do a lot of good things. They did. Early on, I think that Andy Reid and Kansas City were very careful with Miami because they were feeling them out because they had respect for the scheme, the players, everything out like that. Tua, even though it wasn't beautiful, and I still think they're managing him to a degree. Hey, gritty, made some big plays when he needed to. Just got to take away a few of those dead moments, where they go up 10-0 and then it's just nothing for a long, long period of time before they kind of got a jump started once again. But, Miami, hey, whether they make the playoffs or not, because they got a tough stretch and there's no guarantee, they will be a pain in the butt to play because you're not going to want to see Brian Flores and that defense come into town. They can match up with just about anybody except for maybe this team in red with 1 and a 5 at quarterback.
We've got some time carved out later in the show to talk about the conversations I had after yesterday's games. Remind me if I forget to explain what Patrick Mahomes had to say about Tua, because it was encouraging if you're a Dolphins fan.
Hi, I'm Mike Tirico, and thanks for watching. Make sure to hit subscribe for the latest news and highlights from NBC Sports.